Well, it must be so exciting to be in a movie like this and playing ninjas, right?
Yeah, maybe, but I don't think I'll ever get to play a ninja again. This was so cool. Also an action movie, a Lego. I mean, it checked off so many new boxes for me.
What about for you, Fred?
Same thing. The experience just from beginning all the way through to today that we're at Legoland, still doing they've managed to somehow make it fun all the way through. So, and as far as playing a ninja, yeah, it's like once in a lifetime. It does feel that way.
So let's talk about your character, starting with Nia, because she's the only girl in the group, but she can hold her own.
She totally holds her own. I loved this character. I love playing her, and I feel like she's such a strong female character in a world that's predominantly men, and she's super confident, very competitive, just a badass. I love that she rides a motorcycle. Yeah, it was just so much fun, and I felt like every time I went in there, I left feeling empowered by her.
What about Cole?
Cole was just, as soon as I started reading about what Cole was about, I knew it was right that they asked me to do it. He's into loud music. He's got these turntables and this big mech thing that he has, and he's also a little bit a little lazy, which I liked. He's like just a tinge of laziness.
And then, of course, you got to go into a booth and animate these characters, and that's not a usual way of working, but many actors say they love it. What was the experience like for you?
Yeah, I love it, especially because what I usually do is, not that, and it's just really refreshing to get to go in, and there's less pressure because to do another take of something is so easy, whereas when you're on camera, usually another take, it just feels like a bigger thing. There's more people involved, but when it's just you in the booth, you can kind of try things differently, you can experiment a little more, and the limitation of just using my voice versus my whole body was exciting to me.
And how was that experience for you, Fred?
Oh, it's great, and also very strange because you're so separated from everything, but some of it was on a sort of a screen, like the director was in Australia sometimes, so it just felt very futuristic. And then also when you're done, you just get in your car and you go home.
Yeah.
You mentioned how you were just using your voice, but I'm wondering, when you're in the booth, this is also an action movie. Are you kind of moving around? How is that?
Yeah, it's there's so many. There were like days where I felt like I was just making noises, just like fighting noises and calling out for people and like grunts and stuff. Yeah, the studio, I was talking about this, but the studio in New York that I go to has this bar that's right in front of the mic. So I think it's to distance you, but I use it a lot to like, I can hold on to it so I can move around and still stay within the distance they need me to stay for the audio. But it allowed me to really get into it. Because yeah, you are fighting and we're running through the jungle and you kind of have to.
And in a safer environment than being a real ninja in a movie. I mean, here...
Yeah, but I'm going to tell people that I really did a lot of action stunts and stuff. I might even start telling people that I designed choreographed a lot of the martial arts.
And what about the improvising? Everyone's talking about that. You were encouraged, I believe, to just kind of do your thing there a bit too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was improvising, like in finding the character mostly for me. So I don't think you were saying earlier, like, there is such a storyline, so you're not changing like the storyline in a major way, but in finding the character and creating more of her, it's so fun that they were really open to collaboration in that way.
Did you enjoy that part of the process too?
Well, yes and no, because they didn't do too much improvising. Sometimes when there's too much of it, you can hear it. It sounds like people trying to be funny, so a lot of it was kept to the main story of the script. So a good, healthy dose of both.
Also, it's an interesting way and a strange way of working in the sense that, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you do your thing, but maybe you won't come back for another few months, and then you've got to, maybe you're working on a completely different project, you've got to get back into that mindset, right?
Oh, yeah. the recordings for me were spread out so much.
Yeah. I had them play previous recordings just so I could remember what I sounded like. Can you play my thing from a couple months ago? And it helped.
Yeah.
And how was it? I believe you all got together one day. How was that?
Yeah, that was the best day.
It was great.
It was a big circle, and we all are recording, and we get to look at each other. And there were some of the bigger scenes that were done that day, and I think that solidified a lot of the different relationships. And there was a bunch of improv done.
Yeah, and it was also at Warner Brothers Studios, the actual, studios, the back lot and everything. So it felt very much like we were in movie land.
Yeah.
All the studios are making great animated movies. I mean, I believe we're in another golden age of animation right now. But the Lego movies, they're different. They have a different tone. They have their own personality. I don't know if you agree with me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the mix of the live action elements in there. I love how in the grass is real, like the cat. That's such a surprising shift. And also, I think every Lego movie really takes a different tone as well, depending on the director. I like that they experiment with the different ways in which those worlds can change, even though the Lego stays the same.
And what's kind of cool is that, like, with the animation, it's kind of limited. So it's supposed to be little pieces of plastic moving around in a real city. So it's kind of, I like that limitation. It's kind of funny.
And
As opposed to all the other animated movies, they are all garbage.
I would say also that these movies push the boundaries also in terms of the story. There's some serious themes here.
Yeah.
And you find yourself laughing also while you're, I don't know if you, I mean, it's...
Yeah, I mean, there's a main theme is this father-son relationship between Lloyd and Garmadon, and there's a lot going on there. I mean, he was like, he's villain as a dad. People, once they find out he's his dad, they don't want to be friends with him. So he's like this insecure high school kid dealing with that, and then dealing with like his mom and dad don't get along, and just that's just one of the many themes. Like then there's the whole friendship thing, and finding your inner peace and what you're good at, and following your bliss type stuff going on.
And how they managed to deal with that, with what you just did right now, with humor.
Yeah.
The movie's really funny, and this is, I would say, unique for people of all ages. Kids laugh, adults laugh.
Oh,
too.
good. I'm glad you think so.
And that's what a real family movie is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for everybody.
So you must be, knowing that this is such a project that is worldwide, that people love it all over the place, you must be proud to be a part of this. I mean, maybe you wouldn't imagine years ago that you would be in a movie like this. And look at it now.
Yeah. I mean, when the first Lego movie came out, I remember thinking, oh, I'd love to do something like that. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, my other main project is pretty specific, and it might not be for everybody. It's like, and it's made on purpose that way. And this is so exciting to be in. It's like such a broad audience. It's a whole new thing for me to be, just something that I would be a part of is exposed to so many people. It's really exciting, and I'm really proud of the character I get to play with in